Stolen innocence. Fiona sat by the window, her gaze fixed on the raindrops sliding down the glass. The rhythmic patter of the rain against the roof was soothing, but her mind was anything but calm. Her mother, Sharon, was in the kitchen, humming a tune as she prepared dinner. The sound of the front door opening snapped Fiona out of her thoughts. Victor walked in, his presence filling the room like a warm breeze. He was tall, with a smile that could light up the darkest corners of her mind. Fiona's heart skipped a beat as he greeted her with a casual, "Hey, kiddo." She hated when he called her that, but she couldn't deny the way her stomach fluttered whenever he was near. Victor was everything her mother needed: charming, successful, and attentive. But as Fiona watched him hang his coat and head to the kitchen to kiss Sharon on the cheek, she couldn't help but feel a pang of jealousy. She knew it was wrong, but the more time she spent around him, the harder it became to ignore the growing attraction. Days turned into weeks, and Fiona found herself seeking out Victor's company more often. They would talk for hours about everything and nothing, their conversations laced with an unspoken tension. One evening, while Sharon was out with friends, Fiona and Victor found themselves alone in the living room. The air between them was thick, and before she could stop herself, Fiona leaned in and kissed him. To her surprise, he kissed her back, his hands gently cupping her face. In that moment, Fiona felt alive in a way she never had before. But as the days passed, the guilt began to creep in. She knew what they were doing was wrong, but she couldn't bring herself to stop. Victor was like a drug, and she was addicted. Little did she know, their secret would soon come to light in the most unexpected way. Fiona's world came crashing down one morning when she woke up feeling nauseous. At first, she brushed it off as stress, but as the days went by, the symptoms only worsened. She found herself staring at a pregnancy test in the bathroom, her hands trembling as she waited for the result. When 2 pink lines appeared, her heart sank. Panic set in as she realized the gravity of her situation. How could she explain this to her mother? To Victor? The man she thought she loved now seemed like a stranger, and the reality of their relationship began to unravel before her eyes. Fiona's obsession with Victor had blinded her to the consequences of their actions, and now she was faced with a decision that would change her life forever. As the days turned into weeks, Fiona's anxiety grew. She avoided Victor, afraid of what he might say or do if he found out. But when Sharon noticed her daughter's sudden change in behavior, she grew suspicious. One evening, Sharon confronted Fiona, demanding to know what was wrong. Fiona broke down in tears, confessing everything. The look of betrayal on her mother's face was something Fiona would never forget. Sharon's world shattered as she realized the man she loved had betrayed her in the worst possible way. The once happy household was now filled with tension and heartbreak. Fiona was forced to confront the harsh reality of her choices and the true nature of love. She had thought Victor was her escape, but in the end, he was her downfall. The confrontation between Sharon and Victor was explosive. Sharon's voice trembled with anger and hurt as she demanded answers. Victor, caught off guard, tried to downplay the situation, but the damage was done. Fiona watched from the sidelines, her heart breaking as she saw the pain in her mother's eyes. She had never meant to hurt anyone, but her actions had caused irreparable harm. Victor's charm and charisma, which had once drawn her in, now seemed like a facade. He was not the man she had thought he was, and the realization was devastating. In the days that followed, the household was filled with tension. Sharon moved out temporarily, unable to bear being in the same space as Victor. Fiona was left alone with her thoughts, grappling with the consequences of her actions. She knew she had to take responsibility for her choices, but the road ahead seemed daunting. The pregnancy was a constant reminder of her mistakes, and she wasn't sure if she was ready to face the challenges that lay ahead. Fiona's turning point came when she decided to confide in her best friend, Ada. Ada listened without judgment, offering support and advice. She encouraged Fiona to think about what she truly wanted and to consider the future of the child she was carrying. Fiona realized that she couldn't run away from her problems anymore. She had to face them head-on, no matter how difficult it might be. With Ada's help, Fiona began to make plans for her future. She decided to keep the baby, despite the challenges it would bring. She knew it wouldn't be easy, but she was determined to give her child a better life than the one she had known. Fiona also made the difficult decision to cut ties with Victor. She realized that their relationship had been built on lies and deceit, and it was time to move on. Fiona's journey to redemption was not easy. She faced judgment and criticism from those around her, but she remained steadfast in her resolve. She focused on her education and worked hard to provide for her child. Sharon, though still hurt, eventually came around and offered her support. The mother-daughter relationship was strained, but they began to rebuild it, one step at a time. Fiona's child became her source of strength and motivation. She was determined to break the cycle of mistakes and create a better future for her family. Through it all, Fiona learned valuable lessons about love, responsibility, and the importance of making the right choices. She realized that true love was not about obsession or infatuation, but about trust, respect, and selflessness. Years later, Fiona stood on the porch of her modest home, watching her child play in the yard. She had come a long way from the naive girl who had fallen for Victor's charms. Life had not been easy, but she had persevered, and she was proud of the woman she had become. Sharon, now a doting grandmother, joined her on the porch, and they shared a quiet moment of reflection. Fiona knew that her past would always be a part of her, but it no longer defined her. She had found peace and happiness in her new life, and she was grateful for the lessons she had learned along the way. As she watched her child laugh and play, Fiona realized that love, in its purest form, was worth fighting for. And she had fought, not just for herself, but for the future of her family. One day, as Fiona was walking through the market, she ran into Victor. It had been years since they had last seen each other, and the encounter was unexpected. Victor looked older, his once charming smile now tinged with regret. They exchanged polite greetings, but the conversation quickly turned serious. Victor apologized for his past actions, acknowledging the pain he had caused. Fiona listened quietly, her heart heavy with memories. She forgave him, not for his sake, but for her own peace of mind. She had moved on, and holding on to anger would only weigh her down. As they parted ways, Fiona felt a sense of closure. She had faced her past and come out stronger on the other side. Victor was no longer a part of her life, and she was okay with that. She had built a new life for herself, one filled with love, hope, and endless possibilities. Fiona's story is a testament to the power of resilience and the human spirit. She faced unimaginable challenges, but she never gave up. Through her journey, she learned the true meaning of love and the importance of making the right choices. Her child, now a bright and curious young boy, was a constant reminder of her strength and determination. As Fiona looked to the future, she was filled with hope. She had overcome her past and was ready to embrace whatever life had in store for her. She knew that there would be challenges ahead, but she was confident that she could face them head-on. With the support of her family and friends, Fiona was ready to write the next chapter of her life, one filled with love, happiness, and endless possibilities. The end. Please comment, like and share. Kindly subscribe to my channel for more stories.